Red alert, guys. Freedom of speech is under attack, and you need to listen to this report right now because this affects you. This is a nightmare for anyone who believes in freedom. Even you posting an angry tweet could theoretically get you sued by a politician. President Trump is orchestrating a coordinated legal attack on mainstream press outlets. And there's two events that have occurred in the last week, only in the last week, before he is actually in office, that should be very concerning to anyone who likes freedom, like the concept of freedom. Okay, here's what they are. The first is there was a lawsuit that Trump filed against ABC News because ABC, a host on ABC, had said that Trump was held liable for rape in a New York court, and he was sued in a court for things that looked like rape but were actually just sexual assault. And technically, under New York law, even though he had to pay a very substantial fine, he, under the technicalities of the law, it was not rape. Okay. But the judge did talk about rape in his decision. So here's the issue. Trump sued ABC News for using the word rape in a news report, an hour-long conversation about those events. For a number of reasons, the press can talk about public figures in a pretty expansive way. There was a law, I think it was in the 50s, it was Sullivan versus, I don't know, the United States or something like that, which said that when you're talking about public figures, you have an expanded ability to say things about them because there should be a public discourse available and you should not be attacked for discussing politics. I mean, just look at the state of politics. People say some pretty nasty stuff. So anyway, Trump sued ABC for this really sort of technicality. And then ABC News settled this for $15 million about a week ago. This is hugely problematic because it means that the press is on retreat. They are worried about all of the bad things that Trump will do to stifle, objective reporting in general. It's not even, I don't really even care about this one case. That's not the point. The point is that it has going to have a chilling effect. Because when you say something, if you're a news reporter, or even here on YouTube, or Substack, or Instagram, even you posting an angry tweet could theoretically get you sued by a politician with endless money about that. And you cannot handle a government lawsuit. I cannot handle a government lawsuit. Those things are terrifying. So that's the first thing. The second thing is so that was an older case, but now Trump. Let me show you this news article. Trump sues Des Moines Register and top pollster over final Iowa poll. There's Trump. This is reported on CNN. But Trump is suing the Des Moines Register, a newspaper, and the polling agency for election interference. It is a laughably bad lawsuit. It makes no sense. But the point of this, the reason why this is happening, is to intimidate the press, to intimidate polls. Like, they got a number wrong. Their methodology was, didn't work out. It could have been a statistical anomaly. I don't know. But it wasn't election interference. And you need to be terrified about what this means going forward, because this is not the last of the lawsuits, right? This is just the beginning. He's not even in office yet. So what happens if under the Trump administration there is some horrible corruption going on? Let's say there's a major conflict of interest. Let's say, I don't know, Elon Musk hires a private army. I don't know. He's probably not going to do that. But let's say he did. And the act of reporting on that is now going to get you targeted, and there's no defense of it, and there's no media institutions anymore. You might get algorithmically locked out if you're saying that on here on YouTube. I mean, this is a nightmare for anyone who believes in freedom. And I don't care if you're on the left or the right. You need to be very worried about this. Let's say it was a Democrat in office, and they did some horrible corrupt stuff. If the press is not free, you will not know about it. We will be living in a Soviet state. This is North Korea bullshit. This is Russia bullshit. This is not American, and it's happening right now on our watch. And frankly, I don't know what I'm going to do once Trump actually gets into office. Right? What happens if I want to report on a corporation that has done some shady shit, and the act of doing that, the act of reporting factual information, the stuff that could be corroborated and is done well, what if that gets you shut down? We need to be really worried. And the third thing is, of course, the TikTok ban. The reason why I'm worried about TikTok, I don't even really use TikTok, but the reason why I'm worried about it is because it is a narrowing of the venues for free speech in this world. And man, I am so unbelievably worried about what is happening next, and I don't even really know how to fight it. Like, what do? Do we organize riots in the streets? It sounds like a bad idea, because there's probably going to be an authoritarian crackdown against political movements yet as well, and those political movements may not be able to be reported on by the free press. Do you see why I'm angry here? Why I am terrified here? And it's not just about the future of, like, I don't know, the Des Moines Register or even ABC News or my channel. It is the problem of speech in general. If this proceeds in the direction that it seems to be going, we will be living in a country that really resembles the limited speech available in Russia right now. We will be living in a totalitarian dictatorship where you will not be able to say what you feel about the state of affairs. And the information you get will be curtailed at the source, so you won't even know what is actually happening. Meanwhile, disinformation will be spread on the platforms that the administration deems acceptable. I have this feeling that inflammatory statements made by a man like Elon Musk on the platform that he owns, for instance, like calling Elizabeth Warren Pocahontas yesterday and saying that her opinions were meaningless and sort of defaming her as a public figure, I am fairly positive that she won't be able to sue for protecting her reputation in the same way that the Elons and the Trumps are going to be able to sue going forward, because I think the courts are going to be much more favorable towards the administration at large. So this is what I am currently worried about, and I really think that you need to be worried about it too. How do we combat it? I already said that I don't know, but I do think that we need a better libel law. Like I live in the state of Colorado, which actually has something called anti-SLAPP law. An anti-SLAPP law says that if someone sues me for defamation, and it's a baseless lawsuit, that I could actually recollect the legal fees that I spend in that fight from them. So if someone sues me, they have a disincentive to just slap me with a lawsuit, because if they do that, I recover all of the legal fees that I spend from their pocketbook. Okay, that is a beautiful law, and it's very strong here in my home state of Colorado. But most states do not have anything even close to that. They don't have laws that protect the freedom of speech, the freedom of journalism. And I don't know, here's my suggestion. If you want to be a journalist, if you want to be someone who is fighting the good fight, you have to move to the Colorado. Okay, that's not a great solution. The other thing that every creator needs, everyone here on the internet who's listening to this, you need to get errors and omissions insurance and libel insurance. Now, those are two products which basically, if you get sued, they will cover the legal expenses and possibly the damages from a lawsuit against you. And it costs, I don't know, it can be quite expensive. I think I pay like around $100 a month, so like $1,200 a year. Some of my journalist friends pay about $2,000 a year for, similar-ish policies. I know that if you've already been sued, like CoffeeZilla, his premiums are quite high. I think he's paying $14,000 a year to have these insurance. But as creators, as somebody here on the internet, possibly even someone commenting on the internet, because if we look at what happens in China, comments that are anti-administration can land someone in jail. It could happen to you even if you don't have like a YouTube channel. So these things seem to be pretty important. If you're a homeowner, sometimes errors and omissions and libel is actually covered on under a homeowner's policy. This is only a stopgap thing, however. Like, if the administration really goes nuts, that's not going to ultimately work all that well either. Okay, so this is your bad news for the morning, for the day. I'm recording this at 8 in the morning. By noon, there might be a worse story coming down the pipeline. That also terrifies me. From Poke Bear LLC in Denver, Colorado, a free state, this was Scott Carney's Back Channel.